is Jennifer and welcome back to my channel. So as you have guessed from the title, we are reviewing all things Rare Beauty today. I do not have every single one of her items, but I went and hauled quite a few items. So I'm very excited to be swatching and trying these, reviewing these for you today. A little while ago on Instagram, I put up a poll and I was like, hey, are there any brands or products you guys want me to specifically review? And the most highly requested brand was Rare Beauty. And to my surprise, I don't know how I've held off on buying anything Rare Beauty until like this very moment, because I am actually a big Selena Gomez fan. I just don't usually go for celebrity-based makeup brands because sometimes I feel like they're just in it for the money and they don't really get involved that much in the product development, and they just like, you know, pay the contract manufacturer or whatever to develop them. But I feel like Selena has put time and effort, and you can really see her energy behind this brand. So I was very excited to be hauling all of this and now sharing it with you guys. I have heard nothing but great things about her brand. I mean, I'm sure not everything will be an absolute jackpot, but I am so excited to be trying this. So let's just get started. Okay, so the very first item I was going to open for you was this Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation. I got them in 2 colors. And right off the bat, I was like, oh my gosh, this color looks a little bit too dark for me. And I opened it, and it literally, like, dripped out. There was just, like, a very watery version of the foundation. I'm just going to assume that it kind of separated in the bottle, and I was supposed to shake it. Okay, so we are back in business. I have cleaned up and I have re-looked at the packaging that the foundation came in, and it does say to shake well. So that was user error. That was my fault. So let's just shake these up. I got 210 neutral, 210N, and 270N. So it comes with the wand, which is not my favorite packaging, but I obviously knew about it before I bought it. So this is 210N for you. This is already like borderline too dark, so 270N is definitely going to be too dark, but I'm just going to swatch it for you real quick. This feels so lightweight. Yeah, that's definitely going to be too dark. So 210, 270N. So I am just drawing a bit on my face with 210N, which was the lighter one. I'm not going to go too much yet just because I don't know what the coverage is like. I'm just using, ooh, that actually spreads really nicely. I'm just using a damp beauty sponge, which is my preferred way of applying foundation. I know certain foundations are formulated to be used, you know, with certain tools, but for me, if it cannot be used with a sponge, I don't want it. So that actually blended out really nicely, and for how runny it was, I was like, I'm definitely gonna need like 3 layers of this, but I don't. I feel like this already looks really gorgeous. I don't like my foundations to be super full coverage. Like, I want it to, you know, still look like skin. And I feel like this is amazing. The label says it's weightless, and that is exactly what it is. It literally feels like I have nothing on. So next, I got the Liquid Touch Brightening Concealer. This is in the shade 110N. I do like my concealers to be quite light. And this one does not say to shake well. And as you shake, it's not like liquidy like the foundation was. But, you know, I learned my lesson. So we're going to shake stuff now. I think that'll work. Just, you know, not gonna apply too much. Again, I'm just using the sponge. I feel the same about concealer as I do foundation. If I cannot apply it with a sponge, I don't want it. So this is so far blending out quite nicely. So right away, this is not giving me any texture or creases below my eyes. It's not clinging to any dry spots as of yet. I'm looking in my mirror a bit closer. My skin is quite dry on my forehead. I can tell just a little bit, but honestly, it's usually way worse with some of the other stuff I use. So next, I have the bronzing stick. This is in the shade Always Sunny, and this is what that looks like. It basically just looks like a crayon. The tip of it is just rounded. Kind of reminds me of Wet n Wild's like product. So I'm just going to use it. Ooh, very creamy. And that is a very dark color. So hopefully that was not too much. But I'm just going to dab it kind of where I normally would. And you know the drill. Grabbing the beauty blender and blending this in. I believe this is one of her newer products. I was going to put in an order before Christmas to do this haul. But I ended up waiting because this was one of the items that was like coming out Christmas week, I think. But this is blending out really nicely. Like, it's not taking a ton of effort to. Like, I feel like some bronzing sticks aren't as soft as this. This is like quite soft and creamy. So it is blending out really effortlessly. Okay, Selena, I see you. 3 out of 3 so far. Next, we have her setting powder. This, I believe, was also another item that is a bit new. Very typical setting powder packaging on the outside. Why I got it is because the packaging inside looked pretty unique. So this is pretty awesome. This is what it looks like when you take the cover off and there's no powder falling out of this right now. You have to move this little thing over to the side, and then it reveals these holes, and you knock powder out, I assume, in the lid or wherever you usually do, and then you can use it, and then you can kind of close it by just pushing that back. That is so great. I feel like half the time, especially after traveling, you open your setting powder and it's just like poof. So I just picked some up on a brush, and I am kind of just dabbing this under my eyes. I don't like to put this everywhere in the winter, even though I do in the summer. Like, I will just go everywhere, but in the winter, because I'm a bit on the drier side, I mean, I can still get oily. So on the package, it does say that it's called the Soft Radiance Setting Powder. I don't know if I'm getting the radiance of it. I feel like it's just performing like a normal setting powder. Oh, by the way, I got the shade Light. I don't know how it's described online, but as you can see here, it is pretty pink. It is like a very peachy pink, so if you are needing something on the yellower side, or darker, she's got darker colors, go with something else. But I generally like to go with translucent, so that's why I got the Light. So next for brows, we have the Brow Harmony Pencil and Gel in the shade Deep Brown. The pencil half is this like thicker triangle-y shaped, so it's not like a fine, like it's not like the Anastasia Brow Wiz, you know, where it's like a very fine tip. It is like a thicker tip. And then for the gel, it is a thin spoolie that is rather long. Anyway, I'm just gonna fill this in currently. Okay, it is very pigmented. Very light touch, you guys, because this is very pigmented. Like, I barely touch my brows and it's there. I know some people don't like that shape of like the fatter brow pencils, so just, you know, make your own judgment on that. And then I'm gonna go in with the brow gel. I'm attempting to wipe a little bit off just because I feel like there's a lot of product on there, but we're gonna brush this out. I actually kind of wish that I brushed that out real quick with a clean spoolie first, just to blend that out, because I feel like now you can see where I drew on the line. So let me just take a clean spoolie. I'm gonna brush it out quick. Okay, so now that I have both brows done, I like the result, but I definitely needed like a clean spoolie brush. I just feel like on the back of most eyebrow pencils, there's like a clean, like no color spoolie, which I'm missing. So I really wish she would have split this up into 2 different products, where it's like the brow gel on its own and the pencil on its own with a clean spoolie on the end. That would have had me like 1000% sold. I picked up 2 different products for the eyes. This is the Nearly Neutral shade of the liquid eyeshadow, and it looks like this, honestly, kind of like a lip gloss container. It is sort of flat on one side, so it's not like a tube, so it doesn't just like roll off your counter. And then I also got the Discovery palette, which, to be honest, this is a little bit smaller than I thought it would be, but the colors look really nice. I'm gonna swatch that Discovery palette first. So here are the colors. This red, I believe, is like a duochrome shimmer, and then this pinky color that I'm swatching right now, that's like the center color, where it's very much like a packed loose glitter type. It does feel a little bit textury, crumbly. You'll probably have to be careful with that one. But that duochrome like red gold, chef's kiss. Last 3 colors of that Discovery palette. It's really nice to see that the mattes in here are pretty pigmented and they swatch really well as the shimmers. Shimmers, in my opinion, always swatch well with, you know, your fingers. Like, it's very rare that I get shimmers that don't swatch well, but the mattes actually did okay. And then real quick before I wash all these swatches off my hand, here's what that liquid eyeshadow looks like. So again, this is in the shade Nearly Neutral. And it's basically shaped exactly like lip gloss or like a liquid lipstick with a little doe foot. Okay, so I just did this eye off camera because I wasn't sure how I would use this, and I didn't want it to be a complete disaster like another operator error. Don't need 2 of those in the same video. Anyway, so what I did on that eye was I just dotted like 4 little dots like this. And then I took a really big fluffy brush and I just slowly blended it out. So I'm putting it mostly in my crease and then I'm blending it up so that it kind of diffuses the edges. And this is such a gorgeous color. Liquid eyeshadows can just be so hit or miss because they can be so patchy, but this is good. Okay, so into the Discovery palette, I'm going to go into this dark matte, like reddish color. I really want to try the purple, but I just don't know if it's going to go with what's already on my face. So we're going to take a brush, dip it in there, knock off the excess, and just kind of go into the outer edges of my eyes. Just kind of darken that up a little bit. You know, we're not going for anything too crazy today. And I'm just bringing it into my crease just a little bit, just so that color is not solely on the outer corners. Okay, so I feel like that blended pretty well, but it did blend differently on my bare eyelid here on the bottom versus over the liquid eyeshadow that I just put on. So I'm struggling with that a little bit. I think for next time, what I would do is I would set with a translucent powder the liquid eyeshadow first before going in with powders, because it's gripping onto the liquid eyeshadow just a little bit harder and more opaquely, but I'm just gonna make it work. Anyway, I think that does look quite nice. I'm just gonna go in with that first brush that I used to blend out the liquid eyeshadow and kind of blend out the edges of what I just put on. So far there has also been no fallout, so that's been great. I'm gonna take this red gold duochrome right here. I just feel like that's going to be my favorite color. I'm just taking it on my middle finger and I'm just going to lightly dab it into the like inner half of my eyelid. That is beautiful. I feel like it is pulling more red. It's not quite so duochrome-y now that it's on my eye. Maybe I need more, but I'm just afraid of going overboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up that gold as well and just pack it right on top because I feel like it needed a little bit of warmth. I was hoping more of that gold would pull from that duochrome, but it was just pulling so red. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Taking that same matte color, I'm just going to pull it under my eyes a little bit. Okay, so next we're going to do the eyeliner. This is the Perfect Strokes eyeliner. And this is probably the thing that I'm most nervous about out of everything because as I was shopping, this did have the worst reviews. I did buy it because it was a brush tip. I do prefer brush tips. If it was felt tip, I probably would have skipped it. It's wider than like every other brush tip I have, so I'm just a little worried about this one. I feel like for a brush, it is a stiffer brush, so if you prefer stiffer brushes. But now that I've drawn enough with this, as I was filling in this eye, I just feel like it is already starting to like, I don't want to say dry out, but there just isn't enough product getting to the end of it. Like I know it's not actually dry because I literally just opened it, and I did shake it beforehand. And then some people were saying that it leaks in the lid, so I guess we can check back later to see if it does. I'm not sold on it. The result, love. Though it just took me a little bit to get there. So I just went ahead and added some fake lashes and black eyeliner in my lower waterline. And as I'm waiting for that lash glue to dry, let's just open some blushes. This is the part that I'm most excited about. I just feel like I hear so much about her blushes. Everybody loves them. And I'm like, I want to try them too. So I picked up 3 different blushes to try for you guys. This first one, put the other ones down, is the Stay Vulnerable Melting Blush. This is the shade Nearly Apricot. Sorry, my camera was not focusing. This is what the packaging looks like. It's this cute little pod, and it opens up to this. I have been absolutely loving like cream-based blushes like this because I just really like applying blushes with a brush instead of my hands, and this is really easy to like carry around and you know it won't leak. It's even got like a tiny little mirror in there. Anyway, let's swatch this. So I'm taking some on my finger. It feels so good. Like it feels like a lip balm really. Like it's not tacky or anything like that, and that's how it glides on. So that is one layer. Good to see that it is pretty sheer, because liquid or cream brushes can be so like opaque sometimes, and that is the second layer. The next two, I have a soft pinch matte liquid blush and a soft pinch dewy liquid blush. The actual tubes themselves don't tell you if it's matte or dewy, so I wish she would have made them either different or like say it on the bottom. But anyway, this shade in Love is the matte one. Again, like all the other packaging, it's got a fairly big doe foot actually. So again, this is in the shade Love, and I'm just gonna dab that out with a different finger. These are definitely way more opaque than the Stay Vulnerable like cream blush in a pot. This, whoa. That dried down quite quickly, but it is buffing out really nicely. It looked really intense, and now it's just, you know, not too bad. So I think that's gonna blend quite nicely. So this is the matte one. Like I said, it does look pretty matte. It is clinging a bit to the very dry skin on my hand, so we'll see. This is the dewy one. This is in the shade Believe. And we're gonna put some there. I deliberately got 3 different shades because I wasn't sure what I would be, oh, dropped it, where I would be going with the eye look. So anyway, this is the dewy shade. I'm running out of room on my hand. I put a little bit too much on. So this blends as well quite nicely. It does not dry. Like, I think by now the matte already dried. I hope that is focusing well. So as the light shines across these, the matte one is definitely the most matte. And I think the dewy one is very dewy. And then this like sheer cream one is kind of somewhere in the middle. But yeah, these liquid ones are pigmented AF. So I think I'm going to be trying that dewy one, the shade Believe, just because I feel like that will go best with my eyes. I honestly don't think that matte one is going to get much use out of me, because the way it just clung onto the dry patches on the back of my hand, it just felt almost like too much of a powder, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm just gonna dab this out. I'm trying a brush because realistically that's how I'm gonna be applying it. I can't believe how pigmented that is. Wowee. Okay, so wrapping up with the lips, I picked up a couple different products to show you as well. So I got 2 shades of her Lip Souffle Matte Lip Creams. I feel like this is what a lot of people use, and I've seen these around quite a bit. So this first one is in the shade Fearless. It's very interesting that the doe foot is like a paddle shape instead of a true doe foot, when like all of her other products that I've used thus far was a doe foot, and that's more what's common for lip products. Anyway, like I said, if my camera will focus, this is in the shade Fearless. And again, this is supposed to be a matte lip souffle, which tells me that it's supposed to have a matte finish, but it's supposed to be pretty comfortable. This other one is in the shade Transform, which I bought it hoping it was like a true red. So hopefully it's not pulling pink. This next one I already got eyeliner on, is called the Dewy Lip Balm in the shade Thankful. This is what that looks like. It's also a not like a traditional tube where it will roll off of your desk. So this is a dewy lip balm. It is shaped just like this, kind of like a cylinder that's cut off. And this is in the shade Thankful, which I believe is supposed to be more of like a pumpkin-y color, like a little warmer. So that's what that looks like. That did not pull as warm as I wanted it to. Like, look at the packaging. This was the box it came in. That is not, I don't think, accurate. Well, now that I'm looking at it on my screen, I don't know. With the online swatches, it just looked a little bit more pumpkin-y to me. It feels great, don't get me wrong. I'm just sad that it's not like the color that I expected, which that's the struggle with shopping online, right? So lastly, this is the Stay Vulnerable Glossy Lip Balm, also in the shade Nearly Neutral. So I got it to match the liquid eyeshadow. So this is again the shade Nearly Neutral. and that is just a tinted gloss, so that is quite sheer. I think for my look today, maybe this color, which is Fearless in the Souffle Matte Lip Cream. You know, I am really impressed that it looks matte. Doesn't it look matte? Like, does it look matte to you? It looks matte to me in the mirror, but it feels like a cream. I'm very confused on what kind of magic this is, but I'm here for it because it feels so good. Okay, so I've just given it about 5 minutes to dry down. It feels like it's not gonna get any drier, but it still feels strangely comfortable. It is not yet transfer proof. It's not like, you know, a ton is coming off. It still looks great. So, you know, for the comfort, I'll take it. Just one last thing before I leave you here is I'm going to check if this liquid eyeliner has leaked at all, and it has not. That was one of the biggest complaints on the Sephora website, was that the pen was leaky. This is the first time I'm using it, so obviously who knows what will happen. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking with me through this very lengthy try on and review. I hope this was helpful for you for if you are trying to pick up a couple things or a couple of different shades. I do not regret hauling all of this full price because it was actually really good. Like, my expectations were high, but this met/exceeded my expectations. Anyway, I'm not gonna babble for too much longer. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what brands or products you would like me to review next. I hope to see you next time. Bye!